Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. That will be the name of the next Pixel Fold 2, at least that's what we thought it was gonna be called, Pixel Fold 2, but now it has this new long name, but it's gonna tell us a lot about the next generation of the phone. I'm gonna run through all the specs of this phone, but let's first go through the look of the phone. This is going to be what it looks like. This is what it looks like when it's closed, and you can see it looks like it's not gonna be as short and fat as previously thought, which is I think a good thing overall. I didn't hate the Passport design, and it still has seemingly a bit of a Passport design. I just don't think it's gonna be as extreme as previously, seen and felt. Here it is when it's open, and I think one of the bigger things that you'll probably notice is that the bezels on the inside display are much reduced, and that's gonna be a great looking thing design-wise and to make it just look a lot better in general. You can see on the back of the phone, it still has that big hunk of junk, thick camera, but we're gonna get into the camera specs in just a bit, which I think are gonna make a lot of people happy overall. So let's run through these specs. As you can see on the screen here, 7.9-inch display. It would be bigger, at least display size, on the inside display, which is going to make a lot of people happy. I think it might make you unhappy, but it's going to make me happy. I know that. So I'm looking forward to the more display size, and it should be, at least on the Western front here in America and a lot of other places, the largest inside display on a foldable phone. 6.3 inches on the outside, the cover display. There's also rumors it might be 6.2, but I don't think you'll notice a big difference if it's either 6.2 or 6.3. But overall, a bigger display than what it was previously on that other one. I think the other one was like 5.6. This is 5.6, but to be fair, it's short, but it doesn't feel like it, man, I can't see anything. It's actually a really, really easy display to see things and do things on. The nits on here, I do expect it to be about 2,000 nits, so I don't think it'll be as extreme as what you'll get on a Galaxy Z Fold 6 or as extreme as you'll get on the OnePlus Open 2, but I think ultimately it will be a fairly sizable jump. I think it was about 1,500 nits on the regular Pixel Fold, and on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it'll be a little bit, about 500 nits more. The dimensions on here, you can see the dimensions right there on the screen, unfolded and folded. Ultimately, when it's folded and unfolded, it will be thinner. And I think that ultimately is going to be and make for a lighter phone at that, which we will talk in just a little bit. But yeah, I think the weight and the size, thinner, which is always nice, because this phone, it doesn't necessarily feel thick, but if you can get it thinner, it's gonna be a nice experience, and lighter is one of the big things. This is a really, 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 really heavy phone. It's almost 10 ounces, and I think they'll at least be able to get it down to 9 ounces, if not even lighter. I won't be surprised at all, but I think it'll definitely be lighter. If it's not, I'll be actually kind of shocked, because I think in a lot of ways, Pixel's probably gonna feel one of the most dramatic changes out of the 3 folding phones that are gonna launch in America, OnePlus Open 2, the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and this phone. I think this one will be one of the most dramatic changes physically out of the 3, due to the thinness and also the weight difference. The processor, we're looking at Tensor G4. The last one had the Tensor G2 because it came out a little bit early before the Tensor G3. I had the Tensor G3. I haven't personally felt a lot of changes versus the G2. The G4, I think, will be another fairly incremental upgrade in terms of its performance and benchmarks and raw performance. And what I mean by that, maybe instead of being able to only play on medium or medium high, this one you'll be able to play medium high, games, maybe even high once in a while. But ultimately, I don't think it's gonna be a huge departure in terms of raw performance. I do think it's gonna offer you really, really good performance in just day-to-day usage with basically anything that you do, which is always a good experience. The RAM, 16 gigs of RAM, I do expect them to throw that in. There was 12 gigs in the Pixel Fold. I think they'll make the extra jump because they're probably gonna end up giving us 7 years of OS updates with this. So they wanna, they wanna give you a good experience. If someone that's gonna keep this phone for 7 years, if it even lasts 7 years, they wanna give you a good experience, and they will by giving you 16 gigs of RAM. Storage, I do think we'll see 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. OnePlus Open 2, I only expect 512, and then on the Z Fold 6, it's probably gonna be like 256 through 1 terabyte most likely. But yeah, I think you'll see 256, 512, and 1 terabyte, which is a ton of storage. If I were you, as long as the RAM amounts are the same, I'd probably just stick at 256 or 512. 512 being a complete sweet spot at this time. Pixel 9 Pro XL cameras. I think it's gonna have the same cameras as their flagship phone, their flagship candy bar phone, and that is a wonderful thing. The Pixel Fold had cameras of like a Pixel 7. I think this will, since it's carrying that moniker name, most likely the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, they're going to put, especially if having the Pro name in there, it's got to have the same exact cameras as their flagship phone. I highly expect it, meaning you're gonna get great video, you're gonna get great, even better photos. This is some of the best photos you will take on a phone, and very consistent at that. I love the Pixel cameras. Not to say that Samsung and OnePlus take bad photos, I'm not saying that. I just personally have always preferred, more times than not, the Pixel experience on the camera. Next up, we've got the battery, 5,000 milliamps. I do think we'll see a bit of an increase. It was about, I think it was like 4,800 milliamps-ish on the Pixel Fold. You're gonna see that jump up to about 5,000, I would expect. I also wouldn't be surprised if they keep it the same. So I'm guessing 5,000 though, just because they're gonna make it a little bit of a bigger phone, but thinner and lighter at the same time, which is asking a lot. But I do think you'll see a 5,000 milliamp battery in there. Charging, I expect it to stay the same, 30 watt wired, 7.5 wireless. I don't expect to see any changes right there. Android 15, which is pretty much a given, especially with this phone coming out in October, most likely. You got to expect that when it is released, that they're going to end up putting the latest software on there. That will have already launched by then, or it should be launching by then. And Android 15 is already out in beta right now, so it's a given. Hinge, refined hinge that lays flat. One of the things I don't like about the Pixel Fold is it just does not lay flat. It's a crooked experience. I think they'll fix that. And it's not a defect, it is a design thing. They said it added durability into the hinge and the overall design, which I'd rather have something that's durable and doesn't open completely flat, but I think they probably have figured that out at this point, and we'll get a more refined hinge on there. I also expect there to be less visible crease. This one, the Pixel Fold, did have not a huge hinge, but it did have not a hinge, a crease. I think it's going to be dramatically less. I expect that. I expect that with all the versions of this year's phones. Durability and just improved overall. Every year they get these folding phones. You've got to expect that we're going to get something that is a lot more durable. Samsung has done it, and Pixel's obviously going to do it as well. It's not going to get less improved in that sense. Water resistance, IPX8. I don't think we'll get dust resistance, so expect water resistance again. We've got no pen support. I don't think they'll add a pen on this. I thought they would last year and they didn't. I just don't expect them to do it again this year. I hope I'm wrong, because I know a lot of people live and die by the pen, not the sword, but the pen. So it'd be nice to have it. I just don't think they're gonna do it. I expect the announcement of this phone and the on sale of this phone to be October 2024. I also wouldn't expect, I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if at Google I/O they announce this and like, hey, this is what the phone's gonna look like, just as a little teaser, which ends up happening in May, if I'm not mistaken. And then even before that, they'll probably show what the phone looks like. So, but I mean, official, launch of this phone, them actually showing everything about it, I expect it to be October. Price, I don't expect there to be a price drop, really. I expect it to be $1,700 or $1,800 overall. I don't think they'll get this down to $1,500. I think with a trade-in they might, but I don't think they're gonna have much of a jump. And the reason I don't think they're gonna have much of a jump in price is they're putting the best processor they have in there. They're gonna put the best cameras they have in there. It is a brand new design that's going to be lighter and bigger displays. It's going to potentially have a bigger battery. There's gonna be potentially more RAM. They're physically updating this phone and changing it in a lot of good ways. Ways that they probably should have done with the first generation, because they probably had been working on this phone for years and years and years, but we're getting it in the second generation, so I don't expect a price drop. If we do, I think it's magnificent that they were able to do that, but give us a much better, more powerful, better designed phone in general. Let me know your thoughts on this Pixel Fold 2, if you want to call it that, or the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I don't know if I like that 9 Pro Fold name. It's too long. It makes me really have to think about things. Let me know your thoughts. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.